who are now entering the house that BMU built? Get ready to laugh, be entertained, pissed off, held accountable, and to just have some damn fun. Make sure you hit that like, share, and subscribe button when you get in here. Take some time to also hit that Cash App at the bottom of the screen or that Super Chat to support the Black Man Unfiltered Network. Let's get ready to talk.
Wait. Hold on here. Is this the barbershop? Is this the barbershop?
Yes, it's
the barbershop.
Yes.
I mean, we can't talk straight in the barbershop. Then where can we talk straight? We can't talk straight nowhere else. You know, this ain't nothing but healthy conversation. That's all.
You gotta tell who's the park down.
It ain't nobody exempt in the barbershop. You know that. Ain't nobody exempt. You can talk about whoever and whatever, whenever you want to in the barbershop.
Why you gotta
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip, you choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, so do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what America wants. Nice and calm. You're almost there.
All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? What's up? Hopefully y'all can hear me. If you're watching right now, hit the like button, subscribe button. Welcome to another episode of The Barbershop. It is Friday night, and I feel all right. All right, y'all finished the rest of it. I'm so glad you guys are here. For the few that are here, hit the like button, subscribe button, hit the share button, share this information, share this content, because we're going to have an amazing time tonight. And I appreciate you guys being here. Hunting Wisdom, thank you so much. She's been a member for 7 months, man. Y'all, boy, listen. Thank you so much, Hunting Wisdom. I appreciate you for being supportive and continuing to support the channel. Man, I got to give you something. I got to give you something as we start the show. So give me just a second here. All right, here we go.
Whatever you want, whoa, whatever you need, my heart belongs to you. Oh, whatever you need, there's nothing I won't do. Oh, whatever you want, oh, my heart belongs to you. Whatever you need, my heart belongs
gon' do whatever you want. My heart belongs to you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Honey Wisdom, and I appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. All right. DA, what's going on, man? He said, my heart belongs to you, baby. All right. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Hey, guys. So before we get started, man, I want to do a quick review, if I could, and talk about Sinners. If you got a chance and opportunity to go see Sinners, bless your heart. A lot of people are not going to see Sinners. One of the issues that I'm having with people talking about the movie is people saying it's demonic. You shouldn't go see it. Listen, I don't care. Because I believe, honestly, that if you don't pay attention to the things that are around you, you will forever remain ignorant. And I think that if something's demonic, I would rather look it in the face and see that it's coming than to pretend that it doesn't exist and it destroys me. What was the devil's biggest accomplishment? Convincing people he did not exist. So as long as people are running from, because if you're strong and you say, I'm strong in the word, I'm strong in the Bible, and I'm strong here and I'm strong there, I'm strong here and everywhere, then I don't understand the fact that you can't go watch a movie and not bring something home with you. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen Sinners already. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen Sinners already. I think the movie was great. I think there are certain parts of the movie that was amazing. It was shot amazing. They used IMAX cameras, and they did an amazing job filming this. And so, but I don't see the problem. I don't see the issue with the movie. It had a lot of things in it that was amazing. And I'm from Louisiana, so some of that down south talking and some of the things they were using, like Hank and all these other things that ties to spiritual boogeymans or spiritual beings. I've heard them all before as a child, so it wasn't new to me, but it was a shock to me that it was so eloquently put into the movie. And people were able to hear what we hear in Louisiana when we go home and we listen to our moms and our grandmothers and our aunties and our uncles. They talk just like the people in the movie. All right. That's still that same, still that same lingo, still that same tone, that countryness, they brass, they fight, they love, all of that. All right. What's going on, Tommy B? Good to see you, my guy. Hey, listen, guys, if you want to join the chat, join the panel tonight, you can absolutely 100% do that. I would love to have you. If you want to be up here, and I'm going to put the, let's see here. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Make sure you have your cameras on when you come up. I'd appreciate it. All right, there it is. So if you want to come up, make sure you hit the link and make sure your camera's on. But what's up, Tommy B, man? Good to see you. Good to see you, my brother. But yeah, so the movie was shot great. It was shot in Mississippi. I like the way they talked. I like the way they acted. I like the clothes that they had on. I like the dialogue between Smokestack. I like the fact that he took those names from a blues song, Smokestack Lightning, from Howling Wolf, who also sold his soul to the devil. He said the devil caused him to howl. And if you go listen to Howling Wolf, in most of his songs, he was howling. For sure. So I'm going to bring up my co-host, the Velvet Voice of YouTube himself, is in the building tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your goddamn hands together for Lost in Translation. What's going on, my guy? What's going on?
Hey, what's happening? What's happening?
Man, nothing much, my guy, nothing much. And then also I'm going to bring to the stage tonight my brother from another mother, Tommy B, is in the building tonight. What's going on, Tommy B?
What's up, fellas?
What's happening, Tommy B?
So just for a moment, I wanted to go over, just talking about Sinners, man. And a few things, everybody should have been seeing it by now. If you haven't, oops, spoiler alert. But a lot of people were asking me about certain things in the movie, and I revealed to them a lot of things that they didn't see in the movie because they weren't paying attention. At the beginning of the movie, where does Remick come from? It's already daylight outside. He's a vampire. Where did he come from? He dropped
from the skies.
He fell from the sky, right? And if we go to the back of the movie on the first cut scene, where it shows Michael B. Jordan coming into the bar to speak with Sammy. When he sat down, there was a mirror on the wall. You could not see the reflection of Stack and or what's the girl's name? Mary.
Mary,
yeah. You couldn't see Stack or Mary in the mirror. But what people are missing, you can't see Sammy either.
Oh, I already did some research on that. You can. All you got to do is you'll see Sammy's hat in the bottom right-hand corner. It's the angle of the song. I already did the research.
Because I think Sammy sold his soul to the devil.
He might have sold his soul to the devil, but he wasn't no vampire. So that's different.
Yeah. I think I know a lot of people said that he didn't sell his soul, but when his daddy tried to convert him back to the church, he said, because he liked it too much. He liked how it made him feel. And so, but the second cut scene, when he's in the church and he turns a church song into a blues song, and he happens to look up in the right-hand corner, that I think that was affirmation to say, okay, yeah, this is what I'm choosing. And he did that before he went to the club.
Right, because he didn't have no scratches on his face.
Exactly, man. So Tommy B, how you been, man? How the kids? You doing all right over there?
Yeah, I'm going to go get my oldest right now, but yeah, they still driving me crazy.
Hey, get some gray hair on top of the head, boy.
I just started HVAC school Thursday, so I'm doing the school thing right now for the next year.
Oh, okay. It's going to take a year to get it done?
Yeah, 6 months for the regular and then another 6 months for the advanced. So, by the time I get out of there, I'll be ready to rock and roll pretty much.
Oh, yeah. And once you learn that, man, I can't, you can't tell me a person that don't have no HVAC problems.
Oh, yeah. Well, and it's everything. It's because now they incorporate so it's a little bit of plumbing, a little bit of electrical, and then the HVAC and the refrigeration. So it's a lot of shit in one. So shouldn't have no problem finding no work.
Nah, you won't have no problems. Mm-mm. All right, now, so, but now that we're here, man, what was your thoughts about the movie, Tommy B? Did you go see it?
Yeah, I saw it. I haven't went down a rabbit hole. I'm not gonna lie to you. And Ryan Coogler's from Oakland, so I'm everything Oakland. But I think it was underwhelming only because I think people pumped it up so much that when I went there, I expected. I don't know if my expectations were just way out of this world. It wasn't a bad movie at all. I enjoyed the movie. It's just the way that people were talking about it when I went there. I was thinking it's gonna damn near be top 10 movie I ever saw type shit. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
But it was good. I could when people started talking about it, I could tell it was a bigger message in it. Especially at the beginning when his dad pretty much told him, if you keep calling for the devil, he gonna come. And that he did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna lie to you, Slim and Smoke is probably two of the most enjoyable characters I've watched in the movies in a very long time. Like Michael B. Jordan, I'm not the biggest Michael B. Jordan fan, but he played his ass off in that movie. Like
he did.
I literally could watch them two in a spinoff movie. I just enjoyed those two characters so much. They was funny. You feel me? A lot of the characters, I like the Asian characters in there. Of course, Cornbread. So yeah, it was a really good movie. I'd go see it again, especially after after watching, because I haven't watched none of the videos. I've just heard of all of the stuff about the meanings of this and that. Because it's no different than like even with the Kendrick thing. People get deep and then they get too deep and they be like, okay. Oh, did you see the pebble cross the road? It's like, all right, dog, y'all doing too much now. You know what I'm saying? So, but no, like you said, though, it did remind me a lot of like my grandma and them from, because my grandma and grandfather from Louisiana. So a lot of that did remind me of like some of the stuff that they, would chop it up with me about or, stories that I've heard and stuff like that. But no, I enjoyed the movie. Like I said, it just for me it was a little bit underwhelming just because people had set the bar so high. I think I
Yeah.
went in there expecting something different because for a little bit there it did get kind of slow, and I was just kind of like, okay, but then it kind of picked up and stuff. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Uncle Jeff? What's going on, my guy?
Fellas, what's up? Y'all hear me good?
Yeah,
Yes,
we hear
sir.
you,
Yes,
man.
sir, man. Hey, so you went to go see Sinners?
Yes, I did. Shout out to Ryan and your boy Michael B. I think what Tommy hit the nail on the head from here. Because of the times we live in, you got a bunch of symbolism hunters. A bunch of people, a bunch of black folks out here hunting symbolism that cut English class.
Mm.
It ain't everything. Not only is there not that much symbolism in the movie, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be in order for it to be an entertaining film. But when you try to pack in so much metaphor and symbolism and this is that, to the point that it may be those things, but a lot of it is left up to the interpretation of the viewer. It's left up to how I see it. An artist purposely leaves room in his art for the interpretation of the viewer. And when you start to rubber stamp what you see from your point of view as gospel, that's where dudes start, that's where cats with any logic start going, okay, flag on play, nigga. No, he wore a blue shirt in this scene and a red shirt in that scene. That does not mean that the Bloods and the Crips are against the Creoles because these niggas don't eat peanut butter or whatever crazy shit that you're coming up with. Understand that that's your opinion and the rest of the world doesn't have to share it. I'm done.
All right. Lost in translation.
Here's my thing. The hallmark of good storytelling is to tell a story from a point of view that everybody can relate to. You know what I'm saying? Or at least the majority of people can relate to. Like for me in this particular situation, when I watched the movie, it related to me because when I first learned how to play the piano, the first thing I learned how to play was the blues. You know what I'm saying? So when I tried to play that in the church, I got my little hand slapped. I was like, oh, you can't be playing that up in here. So Sammy's story kind of resonated with me. And not only that, I got folks from Mississippi. So they used to do, stuff like that. And to go back and if you're from the South, then a lot of that stuff, you can see what's going on and be like, yeah, I understand what he's going through. So it really varies from region to region. And I put it to you like that because I was doing some research the other day and they were talking about how the United States is really not 50 states, but it's really 12 regions. And based upon the local region, you got different customs, four-ways, the way people vote, what they experience. And people who are in the Louisiana and the Deep South experience something totally different from people from the East Coast and West Coast and the Midwest. So they probably wouldn't see the movie the same way. But at the same time, Ryan Coogler still had to do his work to make sure that what he was doing was as accurate as possible. Now, here's the thing. There are some things that are in there because he talks about it in the movie. But like I say, it's early. It's up to us to do our research. Even in Marvel movies, they don't just put stuff in movies just to be put it in there. Sometimes they'll hide Easter eggs in there for you to find later on. That's just for later on enjoyment, so to make you go back and watch it again. But I always implore people, when you watch a movie for the first time, just watch it for the enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? Let the story play out. Just get lost into the show itself. And don't try to search for anything right away because that takes away from you paying attention. Because the minute you start doing that, you're going to miss the whole point of the movie. You see what I'm saying? So once you go back and watch it a second time, you be like, oh, now it's starting to make sense. Okay, and now I see what they were talking about, the tamales, because that was something that the black folks learned from the Hispanics, but they made it uniquely their own. And since it was cheap, you know what I'm saying? That's what everybody did. And they talked about how the Asians had, they were actually in the fields with us too, but they was like, no, we're going to let y'all set up the stores. And then you go over here and you deal with the black folks. And then on top of that, they had their own currency. You know what I'm saying? That's where the concept of the wooden nickel came from. So there was a lot of research that goes into this stuff. But that's for later on enjoyment. But when you go to the movies, it's up to you to pay attention to what's going on and let the storyteller tell its story. And then later on, when you go back and you watch it, then you can go back and peel back the different layers. And it'll make you appreciate the movie a little bit more based upon the amount of work. Now, when I went back to go watch the behind the scenes, to me, I like to watch it for the craftsmanship, how they actually were able to use these huge light boxes to actually light up outside the middle of the dark. I'm like, how the hell did they do that? And then once they showed this big, huge crane with these big soft boxes, I was like, that's ingenious. Now, when I go back to watch it again, I'm like, now I can see it. So that's the main reason why you have to enjoy the story first and then go back and then watch that other stuff. But outside of that, I thought the movie was great.
Yeah, did you see on the set while they were filming in the middle of Louisiana, in the middle of Mississippi, by the swamp,
right?
Alligators running up on the set in the middle of them shooting and shit.
Oh yeah,
like they meant wild hogs running through the damn while they shooting the scene. Wild hog run straight through their ass. You know,
a wild hog is not a game.
It's not. That mother will kill you.
You know, Lost, you know, us out here, most of us, especially like my age, ain't nothing but 1 or 2 generations from the South. Like my pops was born in Louisiana. But like when you talk LA and the Bay, that's all Mississippi, Louisiana. That's pretty much all that's made up of.
Bruh.
And you know what? We
say this in Chicago all the time. Chicago is upper Mississippi.
You better say it.
Man. Yeah.
Some of the most country ass niggas I ever met in my life is from Detroit and Chicago.
Yep. Because when I watched the movie, that's why everything comes to, if you've been living in the South, like you said, you've been living in the South, man, and you actually, when the movie first comes on and you see the 3 crows flying over the house, you know what that meant as a kid. I'm like, oh shit, I remember this. My mama talking about this shit when I was a kid, you know? And then when you see that, you know, that's a bad omen. When you saw the snake on the back of the truck, when the snake fell off the truck, when he killed the snake and threw him on the ground, the snake coiled up. That was giving that sign, that symbol is for old life ending and danger to come. Somebody gonna die. It was a bad omen. Like, you know these things.
Yeah, you don't want no blackbird on top of your house.
Yeah, so when you watch the movie, man, you like, damn, I see all this, like all the stuff we used to hear about when we was kids.
Oh yeah, and then your folks used to give you a couple of dollars, say keep some dollars, and then keep the hanks off for you.
Yeah, keep the hanks off for you. Yeah. So when she said Hank in the movie, I said, oh my God. Damn.
Yeah, but
even the mojo, the mojo bag. The mojo bag.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, it was
no, it's funny that you like what you said, Lost, because it's kind of like hearing y'all talk about that be like me talking about like Minister Society or like Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Like it's certain stuff we'll see that and be like, oh yeah, that, you know. So it's the same thing,
Yep. So man, but I wanted to thank y'all for that conversation. I wanted to jump into the conversation for tonight and have some dialogue with you guys. Judge Joe Mathis, that's your boy Tommy, had some things to say. And I wanted to listen to Judge Joe because he really broke this down to Candace Owens. I love some Candace now. Candace Owens on her show. Here we go.
I heard was that young black men are supposed to be the epitome of masculinity, so let's effeminize them, and then you can effeminize the whole public because the young white guys will try to copy the young black guys, and if you effeminize the young black guys, you get everybody in this mess. And then that led to what they did with the rap genre, which has been stagnant for 45 years. I mean, it's gotten more profane, but it hasn't changed.
But also it's exceedingly homosexual. I mean, everyone's gay.
Yes, it is. And the other thing is it's not very masculine because some of the malinformed feminists say it's this sexual fantasy. That's not what you're looking at when you're looking at the half-naked bimbos bouncing on stage behind the rap artist in the gangster hip-hop rap video. That's not his girlfriend, that's his mama, grandmama, and their friend girls and their favorite aunts. So they ideate on feminist stuff like who's going to take care of me, and I got women I live off of. I'm not a producer, I'm not a protector, and you got this whole downhill spiral, which is leading us to where we are right now, where there's no duty, honor, accountability, responsibility, bravery, courage. There's no guilt, no shame to keep you self-corrected and self-focused. You're not interested in making where you live a better, safer, more secure place filled with economic prosperity, sense of purpose, morality, and ethics, and you're not dedicating yourself to being a man or a woman of public peace, dignity, and order. You just let it all go to hell. And you try to destroy all human character building things, because anything counts. Because if you have character, and let's say you're a man, that means if you happen to be on the Titanic and it goes down, you say, ma'am, you and your child may have my seat on a lifeboat. I'll drown in the freezing waters. What happens is you say, I've got on a dress too, so get out of the way. That's my seat. You know,
Yeah.
no, take him and throw him over there and chum the sharks with him. You know, the theory that.
All right, and that's Judge Joe Brown. My bad, guys. I don't know. I had Judge Mathis on my mind or something. I don't know. But Judge Joe Brown, man. So what are your thoughts, Tommy? You think is he telling the truth? You agree with him?
In some aspects, yeah. Even when you see, my biggest part is like when you see the guys going towards when they get a certain amount of money, and then it's this fashion, where they carrying a purse and then they wearing these weird ass outfits and stuff. Like, like it's gotten weird, and like they said, even just with um a lot of like the gay stuff that's going on with the rap and stuff like that. Um, like I don't know if everybody's gonna if it's like this everybody follows us thing, because my problem with that is okay. Um, but it's like they not following the shoot 'em up bang bang. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I hate when people pick and choose what people will follow, like in the rap thing. I always had this thing where they go, oh, they rap about this, this, and this, and the kids are gonna do it, and then you find out that the majority of people that listen to rap are white kids. So my question is always, well, why they not doing it? And then it's oh, well, they can't relate and all of this stuff. So then it's hard for me to hear somebody say, oh, they do this to these rappers because the white kids gonna follow. Well, they not following that aspect of it. So now it's like, are they picking and choosing what parts they're gonna follow? That's the only part that I kind of was a little bit off about. But I do think um, it's just some weird aspects to this new rap, and I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm just an old geezer or some shit like that. But like the way that they dressing and stuff like that, even Shiloh was laughing at Shador in one of the videos because he had this outfit on and this nigga had a purse. It's just like I don't know what, like, that's stuff that we ran away from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Even as
yeah.
little kids, it's like I don't want no purse. And it's like now, you got the painting of the nails, the purse, it's just like, I don't know, it's just getting weird.
Yep. Lost in translation. What's your thoughts about old Joe Brown?
Joe telling the truth, man. And I'm gonna tell you why he's telling the truth. The problem is that they promote what they really want to promote on TV because it's easy to promote. But when it comes down to actually building men from the ground up, that started as children, man. Teaching them integrity, just like he said, self-assurance, reliability, courtesy, all of that stuff, man. And you know what? That stuff is not it's not, how should I say this? It's not exciting because it requires work, you know? And for them to see them take music and which is really easy, they take our music and run with it and mess it up. But you never see them showing up over the classical concert. You know what I'm saying? And putting those sprinkles on that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to put sprinkles on Beethoven. You know what I'm saying? But if you look at it, I sent you a video earlier today
I
on
saw your
TikTok.
video, Ken. Yeah.
Yeah. I need you to check that out because the person that did the boots on the ground video, I thought you might find that interesting. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like they want to infiltrate all the popular stuff and turn around and then make it hype it up as if they had something to do with it, you know? Because it's always easier for you to latch on to something that's popular and then put your spin on it and then have everybody associate the popularity of that thing with you. Well, technically, you didn't have nothing to do with it. You didn't make it. You didn't create it. You didn't come up with it. You didn't do nothing. All you did was put your label on it. And then you turn around and say, look what I did, when you really didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm starting to see them to pull this mess off in country music too. And I'm like, well, is anything sacred anymore? You know what I'm saying? But like I said earlier, building a man from the ground up is not something that people put on display. And then when you do have a finished product, they don't revel in it. They don't say, hey, this is a man. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that.
Right.
They always take the exact opposite and pull some foolishness out of somewhere else, put a purse on it or a dress on it, and say, hey, this is a man. And you know what? The main ones who be to propping that junk up, it be the main ones that like that chaos. They're like, oh, you go, boy. You know what I'm saying? Or you go, girl. And they egg that mess on her. Then to be the main ones hollering, I can't find a real man. But what it does, it actually desensitizes you from what a real man looks like. So when a real man is talking to you, you wouldn't even know him or recognize him if he was standing right there in front of your face. You know, you don't appreciate what's in front of you. You don't understand what you're looking at. Not only that, you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to grow with it. You don't know how to work with him. So he becomes foreign to you. And I think that's the whole setup, is to get you used to not being around what's supposed to be around you, what's supposed to protect you, what's supposed to guard you. You know what I'm saying? What's supposed to lead you. And if you're not used to that, if you don't know what goes into making that, then you're not going to appreciate it. And what you're going to wind up doing is abusing it. And guess what? I don't know too many men that stick around for abuse, even though women like to come up with these stories and talk about how they're always abused and DV and all this other stuff. When reality shows up, all you have to do is look at the FBI numbers, look at the CIA numbers. It'll tell you who the perpetrators are. But you know what? That's not a part of the narrative. That's not what sells tickets to the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I think if we start doing our research and we start figuring out exactly what's going on, those who are not used to authority are the main ones that buck it.
And let me say this. You know, a lot of people get upset with us, Lost, because we speak about different things in the softness of men today and how men have become soft and they become simps and they become they've cuckolded and they're all these different things that we can say about some of these men who don't stand for anything but just comply with everything. A woman says it's law. You know, I think we're getting to a point in a session in life, Lost, and I mean what I'm about to say. I think we're getting to the point, JT's in the building tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I think we're getting to the point that if a man is married, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lost, because y'all my big brothers and JT. If a man is married, seriously dating, or engaged, and he sees something in that woman that he should not, or don't want and uncomfortable with, or it's awkward, it's not going to make his life better. If you have a wife, a serious dating, or you engaged, and you try to give provision, order, stability to a woman, and she denies it and does her own thing, you should immediately pull your covering off of this woman. Pull it off of her, and whatever happens, happens. Because I'm not, as a man, you don't supposed to say, hey, baby, I don't think you should travel here because in this country, this is what's going on right now. And she gets on the plane and goes there and somebody busts her in the head with a bottle. It is no longer, when she gets on that plane, she is no longer your responsibility to cover. She has broken the covenant of love, honor, and obey my husband. If I'm wrong, one of y'all correct me.
Oh, you can keep going. I ain't gonna stop you.
You know,
What's happening, JT?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, my
up,
brother?
man?
Am I wrong, JT?
No, you're absolutely right. Just that the premise right there is to remove your covering, right? So the thing is that of course we know that it's a lot more difficult than that when you're married.
Mm-hmm.
This is why you have to be able to have this thing called what do they call it when a testimony, right? This is a testimony. You give her your testimony and she give you her testimony, and you give each other and you vows and you promise certain things, right? These are boundaries. And one of those boundaries that it takes for with a woman is for her to obey, right? The thing is that for that man, he should be vowing to protect her with his life.
Yep.
Honor her. Honor. You know, and one of the things is that man has to follow something that's bigger than him in order for that to happen, right? There's something that he has to follow, that she can see that this man has something that he can discipline himself to. A lot of the Christians want to put it as fearing, right? Being a guy, because we hear these women say this shit all the time, like they ordering something from Santa Claus, and the first thing that's on their wish list is a man that's God-fearing. The problem is that a lot of women can't actually be up under the coverings of a God-fearing man if they're not ready. It is very uncomfortable because you're going to have to hear the word no. You're going to have a sense of following direction, correction, in order to have protection. They don't. A lot of women, they don't see it that way, and a lot of men mess up because they don't start out that way. It is very difficult for a woman, just and a young man being together and her being able to follow that man's direction, being able to have the fortitude to take his correction. Reason being is because, sadly to say, a lot of women have never seen that type of a man. They've never seen it. You have a lot of men that's not that, right? They get married and they have these dedicated relationships under her terms. They end up looking at themselves as her partner. It's just a lot that's there. So when we see this, the reason why it's very hard for a man to be able to take his covering from her when she does something that's against the unity of them two is because he didn't start out being that man. And he don't see himself as that man.
Right.
Because guess what it is actually is? The consequences is that I'm taking all this shit from you, right? Till you get your act together. Most women, hearing a man that is God-fearing, a man that's protective and all these different things, most women would say that man is being controlling. He has self-confidence problems, and he's insecure and all of these different things. It's not a comfortable thing. Any woman that's been up under a man that's like that, they would tell you, a lot of times this man can be an asshole. But they can also tell you that when he say he gonna do something, he do it. A lot of men are not that anymore.
And yeah, they don't put their foot down and then get further into the relationship, and then she's just destroying him every day. Because I want to say this about the married couples, all right? Because people, my sister just texted me and say, I can't believe you a Christian up there pushing divorce. See, my sister's ignorant. She's watching right now, and I want her to know she's ignorant. And because she was one of my mom's kids that didn't read anything. You tell her something, she just follow anything you say. She never read anything. And so, but I'm gonna read to her tonight. All right, you ready, Sugarfoot? I'm gonna read something to you, okay? If you go to the Bible in Deuteronomy 24, starting at 1, verse 1, going to 4, it says, if a man marries a woman who becomes displeasing to him because he finds something indecent about her, he is to write her a certificate of divorce, give it to her, and get her out of his house.
Mm-hmm.
Lost translation, is that in there? Because I don't want nobody to think I wrote this.
It says so right on the box, man.
Okay, sorry. I just want to make sure I was. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what, JT? I just thought about something you said. You said that women like to say they're like a God-fearing man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. I think that's deflection.
Yep.
Because what is him fearing God got to do with you doing your part?
Man.
It ain't your business. That
ain't
your business.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't like it
over man.
I don't like it when they do stuff like that. And it's like, don't point to what I'm supposed to be doing. You do your part.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I'm saying? It's like you want to check me with God. God, is he following you, Lord? You know what I'm saying? I'll do what you say, but he got to do what you say, do, Lord.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing about it, God will come back. Oh, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing. So get back in line and do what you're supposed to be doing. And you let me God and you woman, okay? Walk them right back on down and do what you're supposed to.
You work on what you're supposed to be working on. This
right.
over here, you can't work on what you're supposed to be working on, and you over here looking at what he doing.
Right. JT, ain't they got this thing called chain of command in the military?
They do. Absolutely.
All right. And what happens if you jump chain of command? Just out of curiosity.
Oh, there's consequences that happens there. You jump chain of command. That can actually be anywhere from an Article 15, and if it's bad enough, especially if it's during wartime, you may be subjected to a court-martial. You can't do that. It's dire consequences. You know, and you will see a lot of people will get into some type of trouble when they do it, because it does happen. But that's one of the biggest things is that you would definitely have to suffer consequences. They like to call it correction.
Black man, let me ask you a question. You ever had a situation, man, where your kids came to you and said, Daddy, can I do this? And you say, what your mama say?
Yeah, exactly. Because they'll double ask.
Exactly. So what do you do in situations like that?
Yeah. When my son comes and say, hey, that's what your mama tell you. You ask your mama, what your mama say? She said, no, but I'm coming to you. What is this? Well, it's no. Bye.
And see what people don't realize, man,
first. See, they'll go to mama first, thinking mama gonna be soft, but mama already on the same page with daddy, so they can't. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Mama already speaking on behalf of me already. She already know what I'm gonna say.
Yep.
And you know what people don't realize is that when you edify your wife, you grant her authority over the kids.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You reaffirm the establishment of the line of succession. You see what I'm saying?
What's that? And tell us what that is.
Exactly. What it is that you have to have the kids pay attention to the mama, and the mama pay attention to the daddy, and daddy pay attention to God. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't leapfrog one and do the other. That's stuff that children do. You see what I'm saying? See, when you edify your wife, you give her the power to say, hey, do what your mama say do, or else you're gonna deal with me.
Right, exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's the same way God they should talk to women and be like, hey, look, do what your husband tell you to do, or you're gonna have to deal with me. You see what I'm saying? So it's one of those things, man, where people need to really pay attention to what they say, because what they say sounds cute. It works on those who don't wind their mind up all the way in the morning. They ain't had their coffee. They like to slide in these little jabs or whatever. But I assure you, some of us are paying attention, and we heard what you said the first time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I just believe that we're living in a time right now, man, that we are black men. We're losing. We're losing the authority in our homes. We're losing the ability to be leaders. We're losing. It's because we're cashing in all our chips on the authority and becoming under the authority of women. And that's why I always say that it's important that we stand on business. And I know a lot of people are okay with women pastoring churches. I'm not. because I don't believe in any situation that a woman can correct a man. I also teach and correct a man, because what happens when that man rises up on the woman and challenges the woman? The woman cannot check him. She cannot put him in place. You should not be in any situation like that. Let's go to the terms today. I saw a video. I'm gonna see if I can find it while we're on here tonight so I can show you. I saw 5 police officers in Memphis. 1 black dude, big old black dude, 5 women tried to put handcuffs on him. They couldn't get his hands to come together. That's how
Yeah, I saw
strong the
that.
boy was.
And he wasn't a big guy either. You talk about
Man,
that
they
one?
were trying. I'm like, dang. And they couldn't do nothing with him. Nothing.
You talk about the guy, the regular size guy?
Yeah. Nothing.
Probably about 5'11", probably 6 feet. They couldn't
do nothing with him.
5 women cops.
Couldn't do nothing. And then they radioing. We need a male. We need a man. We need a man. You cannot, woman, hold this man accountable. You cannot yourself walk up to a man. Women police officers, hey, God bless you. But if a woman police officer walked up on me, there is no way possible that woman could subdue me without shooting me. A woman cannot follow the policies of a police officer with a guy like me.
No, we seen
she would have to really shoot. She would have to take me down. She would have to take me out.
But even with that, you remember they used to, one of the ways the cops used to get picked was size, right? 5'9" to 6 feet. That was basically what they were picking. And it used to be competition. Like, everybody did not graduate from the academy at that time. That academy used to be tough. Now they just passing people through. So what you see now is a bunch of short, frumpy police officers. A lot of them happen to be women. And what happens is these women, they have no authority when it comes down to be an officer that's assertive, right? They're either passive or too aggressive. But then the worst thing is that they're passive aggressive, right? Shout out to my girl, the Real Precious. She showed a video of this female cop trying to arrest this guy. She out here arguing with the dude. She out here having conversations with the guy. She out here having debates with this dude. Didn't even seem like the man was talking to a damn officer. Sound like he was talking to his damn girlfriend. And that's the thing that we're saying. And when we were talking about that, and we were saying that's what DEI gets you. You know what I'm saying? That's when you have men acquiescing to people's feelings. And this is what you get. This is why you have cops, even with men. They ain't strong enough to be able to just take someone down. Guess what they do? Because they scared or they running out of breath. They shoot them, right? Right now, we have in Detroit, right now, we have a guy that's a police officer that's on trial right now for shooting a guy that he was trying to arrest on a traffic stop. And because the guy wouldn't let him put them braces on him, and the guy was tiring him out, he shot him in the back of the head. It's on camera, bro. This happened last year. And it's because they're acquiescing to how people feel. And right now, you can't even get police officers. You know why? Because nobody wants to be, because they fell into this whole thing where it's about appeasing the people, falling into all these different things when it comes down to being guilty and all these different things. Assertive means assertive. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we had the problems that we have right now. Even when you go down to the whole thing with young men, how are we going to expect a young man to actually understand how to lead a woman when he's being led by women? Mama,
JT, exactly
auntie.
my point.
Yeah.
And then you say we're going to go worship together as a family, where the Bible says basically that the man is the leader of his home. He's the shepherd of his home. The first pastor, come on, Lost in Translation, correct me when I get wrong now. The first pastor of the wife is who?
The husband.
The husband, who is the what?
The head of our house.
Exactly. So therefore, if we understand that, then why is it that when we go to church, T.D. Jakes is passing his mega church to his daughter and got her husband sitting under her, and she's the authority over him in the church?
And that's not, it's not going to work. This is the craziest part. We're not speaking of this like we speaking about it in theory. We understand right now exactly what we see when you start seeing these things that people were sitting back arguing with us about. Well, how come a woman can't be a pastor? She could do just as much as a man can.
No.
2025 has shown all that. I can do better. You remember that song? Whatever you do, I can do better than you. It shows that is a fucked up song, because look where we at right now. This is the craziest part. You know what we call those girls, the studs?
Yep, stud muffins.
They ain't nothing but feminine ass women. They feminine too. They just weak.
That's what I call them, stud muffins. They act hard, but they really soft.
They're the same thing as these boys.
Yeah.
You can't tell the difference. If you see the silhouette of these young men now, you can't tell them from the girls now. That's just crazy.
Crazy.
You seeing boys with hips. You seeing girls with broad shoulders. And they're acting, this is the craziest part. You know how shit cancel itself out? They're acting like each other. So the little gay boys is acting like the gay girls. Bro, they all say bro. They all clap when they talking. They all, you get what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's the same thing. And now you got the so-called straight woman acting like them also. Period. Bitch, period. They all grabbing at the air. This shit is bad for us. Because then you still got the little so-called want to be a thug type of guy, and he goes to jail. Not because he killed somebody. He goes to jail because he was doing shit he ain't had no business doing. He don't understand what authority is. So he going to jail for dumb shit. People think we got a bright future right now. I can't see it. I can't see it. We've been making so many fucking excuses for the degradation of our people so much that we came to right now in 2025, and this shit is sad as fuck. And it's poor. Bunch of women sleeping in their cars now, which they can't maintain that either because they had a damn payment on that. And guess what happened? They get to the wrong part of the town. That tow truck right next to them. Beep. So you got your home evicted. You got a home eviction and a goddamn repossession. If it was just them by themselves, it'd be different. But they be having 2, 3, 4, 5 children with them. I don't want your covering, is what they said. You see all these girls out here fighting. Who is the one carrying the cameras now? These so-called men.
Yep.
And they're egging this shit on. Those are the motherfuckers that I'm looking, I'm saying, this shit is crazy, man. And we gonna sit back and argue with women about women this and men this. That shit, we can't argue that shit no more.
They the same.
Yeah. Somebody gotta fix this shit. The house is burning. And what we gonna keep doing? Arguing with each other? Who gonna put the fire out? I'm in it right there, bro.
I'm gonna read these super chats real quick, then we'll get back to the conversation. Let's see. Honey Wisdom, thank you again, sweetheart. Been a member for 7 months. I appreciate you, sweetheart. Then we got CJ Wilkins. He said, one thing about Mr. Joe Brown, me being from Memphis, my parents told me how he fought for falsely imprisoned black men in the what do you say?
Probably the 90s.
90s, before this TV run in LA.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He got another $5. Thank you again, CJ. He said, I'm a firm believer that a woman has to earn your protection, provision, and loyalty. She deviates from that. It is a man's thing to do to release her. I agree 1000%. I tell you no, you go, no more. CJ Wilkins with a $2 super chat. He says, women defaulted stability away when they left men. I agree. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat, man. We'll take a little break, give a little something here. We'll be right back. I got your girlfriend up here, JT, so we're going to play your girlfriend right quick.
All right.
Plus violence. They said big bag bitch get to the bag. They said big bag bitch you want a snack. Well this big bag bitch she got the stack. So put big bag bitch clothes on the rack. Ooh, on the macaroni. Move and shake it for me. Ooh, we shaking and quaking. The brands are phony. Ooh, the brands are phony. Ooh, they need a Tony. They need a Emmy, Oscar, Grammy, cause the shit's baloney. The way they be faking like they're making all the sizes. If you ain't got at least a 4X, you ain't trying. Ooh, so give it to us, baby. Give us a guy. Give it to us when we step on the spot. Ooh,
All right, man. Thank you so much, man. JT baby mama in the building. We appreciate it.
Call them fellows.
But yeah, man, I just believe that. I think that we're in a session where we need to let them do what they do. But at the same time, do not call me to save you. Do not call me to put on my cape. Do not call me to do anything if you are not subscribing to my authority. If you're under my covering and you're not subscribing to my authority and you want to go do what you want to do, you can't call me.
No doubt. No doubt.
And this is go for men with your wives, with your daughters, with your auntie, your mama.
Right.
Mama, don't buy that car because I think there's something wrong with the transmission. And the next day she pull up in it. And a week later, she said, you need to go up to that dealership and tell them people to get this car to transmission. No, ma'am, I'm not. Because I told you last week the transmission was bad. So, I'm not. So men need to get to the understanding of saying, put your foot down and say, no, we're not coming to save you when you go against the will of our authority. Anybody want to correct me on that or add something to that?
Yeah, man. You have to use vision, man.
Yeah.
And I tell women,
like Michael B. Jordan said, he don't have vision.
He don't have vision. You know what I'm saying? You got to have vision. Here's my thing, man. I think a lot of times when people get into situations, they don't really think this stuff out. That's the reason why you have to have a spouse that's in an industry that AI can't take over. You know what I'm saying? If you ever notice, there's a lot of people getting laid off from these jobs where AI took it, especially these women who are single, who got this student loan debt, and they messed around and got these new construction bills. And they were the main ones running around with a key. I got a key. I'm a homeowner, you know, black women, blah, blah, blah. New homeowners. But they don't never tell you the horror stories that come behind that. What they don't understand is when you first get your mortgage, you know, so that first year, when they assess the taxes, they only assess the land. They're not assessing the home that's on the land yet. Right. So they'll get a house note for like $1,900. And then 2 years later on down the road, now your house bill is $3,400. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, oh, I can't handle that. Then stuff start happening. And that's how people get evicted because they didn't do the math. You know, you told me my house note was going to be 19 and it was. That's because you assessed the taxes on a lot, not the house on it too. So when they go back to redo the value of the home, they reevaluate it with the whole house on it now.
That's why assessment is very important.
Correct.
You got to pay attention to the assessment. Yeah.
Correct. So when they go back and do the math, they find out they no longer can afford the home, you know? So all this, you know, I'm doing it well, blah, 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 blah. That stuff don't add up, man. And then on top of that, you got these student loans coming back where they had this stuff on deferment. So if you ain't made no arrangements, they come in for your check. So as KS used to say, winter is coming. Well, guess what? Winter is here. And that's the problem when you have people who don't sit down and do the math and understand when you with a spouse, it's actually designed for y'all to work together. So if something happens to one, the other got it. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole purpose of being together. But nowadays, people just want to get into relationships and crow and say, look what I do. And they don't think about stuff like that, you know?
And men today, go out right now and let's see a woman with a flat tire. They're walking right past her. Men have become so numb to this independent notion and this I'm independent and I'm in the feminist movement and I don't need no man, all this other stuff. Say it. Hey, okay. Hey, we support you 1,000%, but we're not going to support you 1,000% when you call on us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And men today, go out right now and let's see a woman with a flat tire. They're walking right past her. Men have become so numb to this independent notion and this I'm in the feminist movement and I'm I don't need no man, all this other stuff. Say it. Hey, okay. Hey, we support you 1,000%, but we're not going to support you 1,000% when you call on us.
Yeah.
We will be the person you prayed for. Prayed for, and we don't show up. We ain't coming.
Tommy, who punched you in your jaw, bro?
Man, he got it there.
Hey, listen, man. Fuck these 40s, man. I slept the wrong way, got a crook in my neck. This shit been killing me for 2 days, man. I'm trying to do the hot and cold. So I got the hot towel right now. I get to the crib, I'm gonna do the cold. But
it seems like you was doing what Sammy was doing to Pearly.
Get you a woman that she can rub it out your neck, bro. It's the vessels, your little blood vessels. That's where the crook is. So if you get her, I guarantee you get you a woman to get a and rub that thing out of there.
Whoa, pause.
Yeah, pause. But it'll eventually take it out, bro. Immediately, it'll take it out. You ain't got to walk around like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said take it out. You got to walk around like that.
This shit going in my shoulder.
Y'all wild in the
crazy, man.
Yeah. I had to learn that from I used to date a girl that was doing massage therapy, and I was walking around because I did the same thing. She said, "Why are you walking around like that?" She said, "Let me show you something." She wrenched that thing up out of there, man. I was like, "Hey, that a bitch." So yeah, you gotta walk around like that, bro.
Peppermint oil on your neck, JT.
Yeah, man. Did she not? Absolutely.
Coach Ferg in the building. What's going on, Coach Ferg?
What's happening, Coach Ferg?
How y'all doing, man? Can you hear me?
Hey, man. Shout out to the crack era.
Listening, man. Just interesting topic, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now, Coach Ferg, I'm gonna ask you, because I know you've been in the game for a little while, and I want to ask you, if by any chance a wife or a girl, somebody you seriously dating or engaged to, decides that I'm gonna do me. I told them, take your covering off of them. She know when that happens, she's no longer your responsibility. She's no longer your responsibility. She's basically broken the covenant. You can't sit in front of God and your family and your ugly mama and them and say, I Sheikah Shea Jackson, take Derrick Jones to be my lawfully wedded husband, to have in the whole until death do us part, to love, honor, and obey. And then leave the church and say, you can't tell me nothing, nigga. They don't work like that, Coach Bird. It don't work like that. We got to get them out of there. And I'm telling you, we have to get to the point men got to put their foot down and be men again. That's why they showing pictures of black men in thongs and bras, walking around in fur jackets, talking in soprano when they tenors. This is why. Because guess what? Some men, listen, bro. I used to sell cars, guys. And these men would come in. I'm looking for a car for my wife. Absolutely. What you looking for? A 4-door? You looking for a mid-size? You looking for a full-size car? Looking for an SUV? What are you looking for? Gas mileage. What do you want? He picked the car out. She would come look at, this is what the man could afford. I already ran his credit. I know what he make. I know what he can afford. Debt to income is looking good. Bank gonna approve this. Let's rock and roll. He said, I don't want to sign nothing till my wife get here and look at it. The wife comes in, looks at the car. You're not putting me in no car with no cloth seats without no sunroof and a 6-disc changer. And at that time, I just look at him. I say, he said, whatever she want. Now, he had a payment he want to be at. Right at that time, the interest rate was very low. It ain't where we at now. Right now, the average goddamn car payment is $700. But then $350, $375, $400, $425, right? He talking about, I can't do over $425. Well, sir, the car you looked at a few minutes ago was $19,995, brand new. 4-cylinder. Now she wanted one fully loaded, leather seat, 6-disc changer, sunroof. We're going up to $32,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Here he go. I'll go ahead and do it. Happy wife, happy life.
You know what he should have told her?
And not the Reaper were looking at him, but the repo man sitting in the corner like this here. I'll see you in 6 months.
Right.
Because you know your ass can't afford this shit, nigga.
You know what he should have told her? He should have told her.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
And sent her on her way.
Exactly.
You know what? But you know what men did, because This is the craziest thing. That happy wife, happy life shit.
Done.
That wasn't all the boomers either. A lot of them motherfuckers didn't
It was our
subscribe to
boomer.
that.
What's his name? It was our boomer. Our Payne ass. That's who it was.
Well, our Payne had it seemed like our Payne had a woman that actually was exactly what he got. I mean, what he wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying the guys that actually, like what you were just saying, you ain't gonna be putting me in that and blah, 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 this and that. For instance, like my father, what he used to do, and a lot of his friends did, they always had between him and my mother, between 2 and 3 cars, right? And plus a work vehicle. And so when my father get a brand new vehicle, it was always going to my mother. And he always took, the
raggedy car.
The raggedy car, or the car that wasn't as nice, because he, and then he most of the time he drove his work truck, you know what I'm saying? But my mother ain't never, and me and her were just talking about that. My mama ain't never in her life cut no damn grass. She ain't never in her life trimmed any bushes. She ain't never in her life, and while my father was living, she ain't never had to pump gas. It's a whole lot, and that's just a little bit of shit that she never had to do. They had it to a point where they understood. That didn't come with them just automatically because they got married at, guess what, 18. They had to figure that shit the fuck out, bro. And when I was 3, I remember my mother and my father, they separated, right, for a couple of months and shit like that. They found out they couldn't even live without each other. But that was also the family that surrounded them too, that was like, nah, y'all need to get back together. They were pushing for them to get back together. So whatever they needed to do, I was the only child at that time. I used to go around, and I didn't know why I used to go around my family so much, but they was working shit out. I didn't know all the shit that they had to work out until when I got older and they was telling me about it. But the ideal of marriage was embedded in me, right? When I was like, okay, I know what that is now. By the time it was time for me to get married, that's when it started really changing for my generation. Because I thought it was I was just going through that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I started looking at my peers. Everybody was going through it. Boy, divorce was like a motherfucker, bro. And I was in a community that was big on marriage. I was in the military community. Mother get married just meeting somebody. Am I lying, Tommy? Am I lying, Coach? Meet somebody after a week, they get married. I'm tired of living in these barracks. I want some BAQ. I want to get paid cola. But it ruined a lot of those guys. It ruined them. You had some E7s, you had some E6 shit, you had some first sergeants going through divorces, man, and these ladies were taking them through the ringer. We had a first sergeant living in the barracks, bro. You know how crazy that shit look? That shit look crazy as hell. I had to go, pick up my damn platoon sergeant one time because him and his wife had got into it. You know what I'm saying? I had to go get him. And I'm like, this shit is crazy. That was like this was like in the mid 90s. Where I'm like, man, what the fuck is going on? What's happening right now? Now I see what's happening. We dropped the ball as men. I'm talking about all of us, no matter what generation it is. We kind of dropped the ball when it came down to you know what I'm saying, being 10 toes down on our word. This is why when we talk about this thing, when you talk about cheating and shit like that, I'm glad that we start having different conversations about it. Because before we started doing this on the panels, man, motherfuckers was just glorifying cheating. You know what I'm saying? We laughed about it. You know what I'm saying? We sat back with each other and old girl caught me, nigga. Let me tell you this thing. We used to talk about it, right? Then the shit started getting real to us. Motherfucker, you go to divorce court, nigga. That shit ain't child support was 10 years. You don't want to talk about it with nobody now, do you?
Yep.
And then it goes to a point where self-accountability started to come. This wasn't nothing we was talking with other people. A lot of dudes was like, man, I did some fucked up shit. You know what I'm saying? I can understand.
But but then let me play devil's advocate. One of the things I liked about the Sinners movie, if you guys went to go see it, one thing I like about the Sinners movie is that the person that's trying to fuck you over, you have to invite them in to do it.
Amen.
Yeah,
and so when Remick was at that door and he said, I want to come in, and Cornbread came to that door and said, hey, we should be courteous, let me in. And what did she say? She said, hey, what's stopping your big ass from coming up in here?
You got to invite me.
What did Smoke say? He said, you've been coming in
all night.
Been coming in all day. Why you gotta have a guy? Why you gotta have an invite now? He said something ain't right, right? And that right there should be the thing that we use. That clip right there should be the thing we use in this black community. When somebody's standing outside your door that you know that ain't coming to do you no good. And he asked to come in that door, females. If he asks come to your apartment, knock on your door, and you know that nigga ain't never took you to Red Lobster, you know he not buying no diapers. And he come to that door to get that thing. It is your response. When he come to the door, he say, you gonna let me in? It's your job to say, nah, I'm good, and shut the door. He has to be welcomed in.
So
and vice versa with men, and vice versa. She come up to your house.
But the problem is, black man, this is the problem. The shit has been talked in codes for so fucking long. And this is what I mean by in codes. When you're talking about a man and a woman, you have a woman talking about some, I know my worth. You know, when the motherfuckers going through shit.
I don't know what it is.
The girl go through shit, and the women that are supposed to be her counsel, they ain't telling her real shit, right? What
Repeat
they
it,
tell
JT,
you?
repeat it again. She say what?
They're not telling her what you talking about, her worth?
I know her worth.
Say, what's the line? What's the line?
I know my worth.
Oh, stop. Your worth is only what somebody is willing to pay.
There you go. And that's what, but those are cliches.
God damn it. Listen, hold on, let me show you something. Hold on a minute. I love my phone. I love my phone. To me, this phone means a lot to me. I like my phone. I got everything. I got everything in here. But if somebody come to buy this phone and they tell me I done paid $1,100 for this motherfucker, they tell me it's worth $200 to me. It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay. I can say $1,100 all day long, but that motherfucker ain't gonna give it to me. That's what it's worth.
And you're gonna have to agree to something.
Exactly.
You know what, black man, before we mosey on down this, I want you to stay on this for a minute.
Come on.
About this inviting people thing in.
Inviting them in.
I always told you, man, we wrestle not with flesh and blood.
Yes, sir.
Think about it. When these people came to the door, they were vampires, but they were dressed as people you know.
No. Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on. You talking. Talk to me.
You have to make sure you have to check these people's actions.
I'm still listening, brothers.
That's the reason why Annie stopped Cornbread at the door and said, you acting funny, man. You ain't need no invite.
Big ass. Yeah, she told him. Your big ass
been coming on in here.
Yeah.
And then he comes talking about, oh, it's all your fault for cooking fish with that old fish grease. And she said, you know damn well I don't use no old fish grease.
And look,
and then that's when Smoke caught. Hey, that's when Smoke caught a hold to. He was like,
And
you acting real different.
Let's add something else. He said, okay, then I'll go. See, that's what happens. Then the manipulation comes in. I'll go. But can I get my money?
Right.
And as soon as you give him an inch, he take a foot.
You was finna get a plug out of him.
Listen, boy, we cooking. Listen, we cooking with good grease tonight.
Exactly. I ain't want you to miss that part. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
because that's important. People don't realize people will dress up in the very thing that you want. Think about it. The Asian couple was out there. Her husband was simply watching Cornbread just biting into this dude's neck, and she watching him like, "Yeah, come on, baby, it's time to go." And he was like, "Oh, that ain't nothing. That's Cornbread. He just hungry." And she was like, "Don't you find that suspicious?"
Yeah.
And she already knew he was gone, and she had to close the door on him.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah. Coach Ferg, have you seen the movie Sinners yet?
I won't see that movie until it hit the retail stores. I just buy it and watch it.
Coach Ferg, don't rob yourself, man. Go see it in IMAX.
I'll see, man. I might see, man. If I go, I'm going to have to go on an off day. I need to be in there sort of.
Listen, I'm going to tell you the reason why you should go. and see it in IMAX is because I want you to see it in its full glory, the way it was meant to be shot.
Man.
And I want you to be able to listen to the music, the way the music was set up, because I don't want you to rob your experience. You know, this is one of those movies you don't want to catch on bootleg because you'll be cheating yourself instead of treating yourself. That's all.
I'll go purchase it, but I think about it. I ain't gonna lie, man. You know, just movies in those type of realms, man. I believe mind over matter. You know, so yeah, I live a life like most movies. You know, I try to avoid people with bad spirits and bad conversation and bad projections all the time. It's not healthy for me. You know, and I'm gonna check out the movie. I'm definitely gonna check it out now. I just have to decide where. But BME, you said something interesting, right? About a woman's covering earlier. I was listening in, trying to, it's derby down here, man, and everybody and their mama's coming in town, so it's a lot going on. But yeah, even when I used to date, and I would say about 20 good years of dating. Meeting different women, everything I-10, 65, I love it. 95 South, North, I love all that. I met a lot of good women, a lot of good people, in my travels. And just, if I don't know, if a woman wasn't aligned a certain way, I didn't waste a lot of time with her.
Yeah.
If we went out, I've always, I'm an old school guy, get on the inside. I'm just going to put you over, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do things outside of what I can afford or what I would say, well, it wouldn't matter to me the scene, what was going on. It's just a person having those conversations. But I moved a certain way. If she didn't come and see me play basketball, then I knew that woman wasn't for me because I'm an outside guy. She didn't want to ride a bike. You know what I'm saying? I just couldn't get into those type of females that always have to look cute. You look cute, but you ain't really cute.
Right.
I just never could get into those type of women, man. I met some of the best women, just natural. You know what I'm saying? I like a woman that cook. Because, yeah, I'm going to buy some chicken, some whatever, depending on what holiday. And you better be able to throw some yams together and sweet potatoes. And that's what I grew up on. All of my aunties were married. And all of them were married to their death. I had 6 of them. All my mother's sisters, everybody was married. And I grew up with that. So I understood how it was. And my father was the outcast of all the uncles. He ain't play golf. He was a sports guy. He ain't hang out. He ain't wearing no little polyester pants with the collared shirt. He wore some shirt, maybe some tennis shoes, some soft walkers. That was him. And, just how he handled the house and my mother, it was a beautiful thing in a sense. He was the craziest dude I know. So, but my house was always clean. My parents didn't do no cleaning after we was all teenagers. They didn't do none of that shit. None. My daddy told me
I don't understand. When you hear these because we listen to these panels and things, and when they start talking about that whole thing about cleaning and cooking shit, and I'm like, wait, how long these kids supposed to be goddamn infants?
Hey, JT, I heard some shit.
By the time they 8 years old, hey, guess what? I don't have to go buy a dishwasher. I got a dishwasher. I got a remote control. If I lose my remote control, I got one. Hey, little JT, go there, turn that TV. I got everything that I need. It's not as hard. And that's why I get pissed off when I hear a lot of these conversations about this whole thing of marriage, and they're trying to make it seem like we're in a times, right, especially when they got kids. 9 times out of 10, if you meet somebody and you're single, they're going to have some goddamn kids. And if those kids are not doing chores, that's a red flag right there. And I hate that red flag word, but I got to say it here. That's an indicator right there that you don't need to be there because those kids ain't doing, and she out here in the kitchen, she got a 14-year-old, she got a 13-year-old, She got a 16-year-old, and they all in that motherfucker eating. She out here slaving over the fucking kitchen, and she cooking and cleaning. And why are you doing all this shit after getting off work? After getting off work, you need to get your life together. And actually, to tell you the truth, that's when a man be sitting back and saying, "You need me," because I put some structure in your life. You see how they doing this shit right here? They ain't gonna be doing this shit no more. Soon as me and you get good, I'm gonna be like, what's the old boy that was on Baby Boy?
Jody.
Not Jody. Not him.
Vin Greens.
Yeah, his character. What was his name? Goddamn.
Probably Omar.
No.
What was his damn name?
Jody's mama's boyfriend.
The boyfriend. What did he do when he came in the house? Melvin. Melvin came in that house and he put structure in that house. And he made it very uncomfortable for Baby Boy to be in there, right? And he told him, you see that woman in there? Nigga, that's my woman. That's some hard shit to say. See, when the movie first came out, I went to the movies and watched it, right? Motherfuckers was like, damn. No, that's not a damn moment. That's a real moment. What you talking about, nigga? You grown. And he looking at her like you got this grown ass son in here. Now, I ain't gonna tell you to kick him out. Let me tell you why Melvin ain't told him to kick him out. Because Melvin had it worse than he did, right? Melvin understood exactly what Baby Boy was going through. He just told his woman that boy needs some structure in his life. Fall back, I got him. And that's love. Now listen to what we're doing now, 2025. What's the conversation? Don't fuck with a woman that got kids. That's fucked up now to say something like that now. That's a fucked up thing to tell a man. Because some men, depending on what their circumstances was and what they survived, that's probably the best that they can do at this. And a lot of times when it comes down to people, we're still all people, right? So it's certain things we have to do. So when you're talking about masculinity, BMW, when you talk about masculinity, it's structure, right? Ain't it funny that we can talk? We can sit back. Somebody say, "What's a man? What's masculinity?" We can give it all kind of. We can just add to the definition. Ain't it really fucked up when we ask women, "What's a woman?" and they can't even tell you what a woman is? That's crazy to us. So it does come to a point where, no, we at war. We at war. And at the end of the day, if we don't hurt anything else, we're going to hurt some feelings. We're going to start pushing the riffraffs up out of there.
Do y'all think most women are at odds with most men, or a small number of women are, I guess, pushing the battle forward for the majority?
To be honest, Trey Ferg, I think most women are at odds with themselves, man. Think about it. Every little insecurity they have, they project it on somebody else to avoid accountability, man. It's always the man's fault, you know. The reason why the community is the way it is because it's the man's fault. The reason why the kids can't read it because it's the man's fault. The reason why white supremacists running roughshod around here is because it's the man's fault. It's never a woman's assistance with the man, and it's her fault as well. It's always the man's fault. And 9 times out of 10, it's usually something that they're insecure about that causes them to deflect from their own responsibilities. So I don't think it's as much as it, because think about it, even if you removed all the men from their situation, and it's just a kingdom of women that would be at each other's throats. But it'll still be a man's fault.
It lost. This is the craziest part about that. When a woman can project, guess what a lot of people don't even realize, and what the women don't realize? That's a power. Because when they was projecting with positivity, when they were projecting with all these other things that help build or keep the family intact, it was a good thing. They took the projectivity and made it evil. And a lot of them don't understand. It's like when you tell them you're powerful, right? You got some powers. And the women is trying to figure out what their power is. They think their power is masculinity when it's femininity, and to be able to project. Man, that's a very good. That's why I used to hate when I was younger. I hated arguing with women because I couldn't win.
I did.
They would flip. I'm just saying when I got younger, I learned.
Listen, that don't work on a man with a sound mind.
Yeah. I'm saying I'm a man. I'm just saying as a youngster. What I'm saying as a youngster. I ain't talking about because I'm surgical with this shit now.
Man, zero tolerance.
I'm very surgical with it.
Yeah.
I'm saying as when I was learning in that learning stage, and I found out because my father used to always tell all the men used to say, "Nigga, you try to argue with a woman if you want to, you ain't gonna never win that argument, right?" I was like, on the contrary, mon frere. I figured it out. And all the guys in my generation figured it out how to do it. We found out what the woman's power was. And what we did was we used her power against her. And basically what we was telling her is that you don't even know what your damn power is. I'll show you what it is right here. And we go silent on them. And you're not talking to me. Why you don't want to say anything to me? All the things that they have the power to do, we flipped it on them. And look where we got now. If you had a woman right now that can be loving towards that man, she does everything that she, that exudes their relationship. That man go out there and he do some shit that she don't really like. She could just turn it off. She's still doing everything that she was doing, right? She going to work or whatever she doing, cleaning the house, doing whatever. But when she ain't giving you that loving, nigga, and she ain't giving you that tender loving care, and she's being short with you, and she's being quiet with you, and she's being, you know what I'm saying? That shit don't feel good to us as men. But we also have the same thing, because guess what men say now? When she do something that I don't want her to do, I don't know what to do after that. They'll say leaving. Most men don't just leave because they don't like her. Most men leave because they say, that's the only thing I got. My silence is what you're going to have to feel. My absence is what you're going to have to feel. Problem is that once you got women to sit back and say, well, go ahead on, nigga. Sayonara. I'm cool. Nope, you do that. And then they say, me and the kids are going to be fine. So they put the kids up under them. And they say, it's us against you now. And the man feels helpless because he's like, I understand. I can't be arguing and going back and forth with her in front of my fucking kids. But what's the first thing that she would do? She would put them fucking kids up there as a shield.
Or down talk your ass in front of them.
Well, it's still putting them as a shield because
your
what
dad
they
is a bitch.
Right. Not understanding that that's power.
Shit, Coach Bird, you think it's a game?
No, but not understanding that that's a power that they already have, right? The power is this: us as children, you as a son, all you guys as a son, you love your mama. Guess what happened when your mama felt bad? You also felt bad too. Again, projectivity. She can project that shit. She can project that shit, and she don't do it consciously sometimes. We feel what, man, we was in that damn stomach for some of us 10 months, 9 months, 8 months. But we was right there connected by the umbilical cord, the placenta and all that stuff, man. We have you know what I'm saying? Then we out this motherfucking womb. What we gonna do? We still gonna be right there, and we gonna still have that type of love for our mama. Now, it's there with our daddy. It's been there before it was there with our mama, right?
But you know what's crazy? They call us Ram brothers because we stand on business and we say men are leaders, right?
Why we still use it?
But we let me say this. But we got the soggy bottom boys. I'm gonna let y'all get it out. Soggy bottom boys are the boys who get catered to, and they don't have to do anything, and you can't hold them accountable. You can't make them do nothing. They don't take out the trash, and then they grow up and be bitch ass niggas. Then you're mad. You know what? You know what I heard the other day, Coach Bird? They said right now in the military
Soggy
as a whole,
bottom.
the average soldier can't even do 20 push-ups.
No, they can't. They can't have them. Yeah.
But but there's also the caveat to that too. They changed the whole workout regimen. When me and JT was in the military, you're gonna do 200 push-ups within the first 3 hours of your day.
Yeah.
And so by the time
All
you
day.
know what I'm saying, so you're doing, especially basic training, you're doing 1,000 a day for 10 weeks straight.
And you're running everywhere.
Yeah,
You don't
so
walk.
the only thing is now I would translate that to most young men today. BMU, I say it all the time. JT already called it out when I came up on the panel. Right, since that time, we've seen a very sustainable decline of the black man when they hold their chests up. I don't see the brothers with calf muscles no more. They stand like cheerleaders. You know how the cheerleader, JT, you know, who stand at attention. Yeah, you get. They ain't got no push off. They ain't got no. But that's what I've seen grown. I've seen men change. Now, dude, JT, I remember when, you know what I'm saying, everybody we was all tight from the waist down. We ain't had no big wide cheeks. You know what I'm saying? No big firm hips. We all could, you know what I'm saying? We had that type of nurturing because what thing I understand, and it's always a difference of
swallow that.
No, I'm just saying it's just coming from a father at home, it's a different movement most men have when it comes to women. You know, even a single man, he's in control of the women that he's trying to. And when I say control, not trying to tell her what to do, He just ain't gonna be running up behind no chick that ain't trying to give him no play.
Yeah.
He rather just move on his own capacity. But since then, and I'll say that time, man have what sister, the women. But see, if you got a sister, there's no way you shouldn't be ahead of the game when it comes to females at all. Because all the females act like your ratchet ass sisters. Your cousins, you got them cousins that come over you. They've been hot since y'all was kids. So how can you not see the woman as an adult? They just grew up.
Yeah.
I mean, but people are different. So I don't know, man. I don't know what to say, especially the youngest of us. Now we older, and BMU, you right there. Most of your peers, they struggle with what you got. They can't obtain what you got. So they struggle with it. Now us, JT, myself, Lost in Translation, we seen that. In our younger days, we was moving totally different.
Yeah.
We wasn't talking about, I'm spending 300. No, man, we spent 300 together. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't. So it's a different mindset. But I'll say this and I shut up. I think brothers can get ahead of the game, man. Just work out. You ain't a good looking dude, man. Run up on them with your shoulders and high, your neck and your thighs, and let them know you strong. Man, shit, they going. They ain't gonna ask you for no money. They gonna be like, you coming over? And you can go over their little dusty crib and make them clean it up. Because I ain't never dated a woman, like JT says, fuck kids wasn't clean. Oh,
That's
man, I wouldn't go
deal.
lay down in that bed. I'm looking for shit on the floor, crumbs, or old potato chip bags, all that will get you disqualified quick with me. No,
Hey,
sir.
so Coach Ferg, I want you to see something. Okay? I want you to see this because the prophet, I call him the prophet. The prophet, I'm going to pull him up in just a second. Y'all going to know who I'm talking about. I'm going to let him do some talking, and then we'll talk about what he just said. Here we go.
Okay.
Average American soldier can't do 20 push-ups right now.
The military been going down ever since they laid gaze in it. Bottom line. Ever since they start saying, hey, don't ask, don't tell. It's been going down ever since, if you want to be honest. And the world know that. No other military let they soldiers suck each other's dicks when they're on battlefield. Only American military. Y'all finna be out there 90 days out there in that motherfucking field, in them woods, and you two niggas on post. Now, no other military let that go down. Think about that. No other military, homie, so they been ready to try us.
Wait, which one talked a lot? It was a Peter or Paul? Which one was the one that talked a lot?
I don't know. Shit, Peter, I guess. I don't know.
Peter was the one that talked a lot. I'm telling you, it's funny because when that motherfucker be talking, you be like, that shit. This is the thing. If you go against the grain, then it's easy to digest what he's saying, right? But if you're going along with all the shit that's over there, you're going to have a problem with what this man is saying. Because what he just said is fucked up, but it was the truth. When you look at somebody, I can't remember who it was that did a show on our military. And this is before Donald Trump even came in office. Matter of fact, it was in between him getting out of office and Biden coming in. And they were talking about the Russian military, and they had about 4 or 5 other militaries. And then they showed, everybody else was like sharp with their shit. And, they were showing stuff to get people. Our commercials were showing 2 men and 2 women and, getting money for college.
Rubbing.
I was like, what the fuck is this? Man, I could not believe that is the image that's been portrayed in this day right now. So when he's talking about that, man, listen, 20 push-ups. This was weird. This was very weird. Running. It is tough when you first get into, and it used to be tough when you first get into the military because you got to run 2 miles for a certain amount of time. You got to be able to do, 32 push-ups or more, and then sit-ups.
Well, yeah, but but JT, you bypassing that. Before you got to that point, before you got JT describing he describing the test. But before you got to that point, like he said, you run your PT in the morning, you running 5 miles. When you go do push-ups, you doing 150, 200 push-ups right there.
300 somewhere, depending on what unit you in.
Sit-ups, you going to do about the same. You're going to do it. Training up to the test. Now, on the test, like you said, you got to run the miles in a certain amount of time, the push-ups. To max out, you had to do 100. That was me over 22.
But it was a little, but this is my point is this. It was a little tough for us, right? But this is why when you're young, it's very easy to transition, right? That's why they had a limit, right?
Your body responds
as well. I was on the track team, basketball, and I was band. A lot of people don't understand. Band is very, 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 marching band, it's very physical. And I was marching with sometimes triple toms, quad toms, goddamn snares and bass drums and shit. And I was also at times the drum major. And that shit had my stamina up. Goes into the military though. It was a little tough for a minute because we got to do it every day. 5 miles, I don't think I've ever ran 5 miles that I went to the military. Man, by the time I got to advanced training, dog, I was hitting it with a, you know what I'm saying? And you talk about an 18-year-old. So our scores, we had to do a whole lot to get scores, and I was 300. Most of my career was a 300. That means that's a perfect. Most of my career was that, and especially once I started boxing and stuff like that. What you have right now is dudes that a lot of these cats are not physical at all. The most physical they get is getting and probably walking to school. That was it. But this is the difference that I see. There's a big separation, right? Because you got the have and the have-nots, because you got the cans and can'ts. Now, this is what I see in this era that we're in now. Because I can't say that everybody is fucked up. No, we got some young folks, man, that's out here doing it big. We got people that still getting married and they're trying to stay together and stay married and things like that. But it's a big delineation with those two. And you can see it, especially in the Black community. You got the ones that do it. They don't even talk to the ones that can't do it. Remember how everybody used to frolic with everybody and stuff like that? That ain't how this shit is now. People call them nerds. You be like, well, that means everybody pretty much that play video games and want to do science is nerds. And guess what? You got your football players that's nerds also then. You got, you know what I'm saying? You got your athletes that's nerds also. You got your rappers, they're nerds. So it's not about the things that how we used to look at it, because we used to look at a nerd as a dork. And a dork is awkward. They're very awkward.
Hold up, JT. I mean, the nerds that I understood was the first thing you described. They were the smartest dudes in the whole school.
All of them were the smartest dudes, but the dorks was the ones, like the ones that was very awkward. You got to understand too. A lot of people didn't like. We don't look at kids yesterday. Well, we didn't look at them yesterday how we look at them now. Now, a lot of people, you got to understand, are on a spectrum. A lot of them. And we never ever, no, listen what I'm telling you. We never identified the ones that were.
Come on, JT.
We never identified the ones that were. It was some motherfuckers that was on the spectrum.
You telling on yourself, JT. Stop it.
Hell no. But listen.
Look, stop it. No, JT, don't stop.
No, coach, they would put those dudes, a lot of them in an LD class, right? They would put them in an LD class when you like, no, they on the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? They're smart, but they just don't have social cues, right?
Oh my God.
And that's what a dork actually was. A dork was someone that they lack in social cues. And that's what a nerd actually was. Now a nerd is that's like cool. Being a nerd is cool.
But JT, I'm gonna go back to the video. A lot of the things that they sort of changed the words up. What they did, they switched that shit up because what Charleston said, no ass, no tell was meaning that you couldn't tell nobody you was living that lifestyle trying to join the military because they would have got your ass up out of there. Now we got a softer military, this modern. Now, since Obama passed, let all the niggas who want to get clapped their cheeks go ahead and go. This is the reason, this new era of, but it's only a small number.
So just pop it like
you're not going in there flamboyant and you a male. No, you're gonna be a male in that motherfucker.
Attention.
Now when you get out, ain't none of that. Yeah, ain't none of that. They gonna get you out of that.
Your left, right, your left, your left, right, yeah.
You ain't gonna get
attention.
Listen, it's gonna be a swift entry and exit in your stay in the military.
Crescent arms. Order arms.
Like this.
About face. About face. Left
forward.
Face.
March. Quick time. March.
Have leaning rest position.
What lean rest position? The position move.
That's what it is. Have leaning rest position. That's what you go.
Oh my God.
That's what it's called.
Arms.
Forward, march, your left.
Your left.
Present arms.
Period.
Y'all idiot, man.
We couldn't. I wouldn't be able to take it. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Pause.
Yeah, god damn. I forgot who I'm talking to today.
Pause, nigga. I heard it. Oh my God. Oh, well, y'all got me crying, boy.
Present arms.
Oh.
Y'all ignorant, man.
Oh Oh my God.
Y'all
Quick step, march.
Oh.
Where
Oh,
them
Lord.
fans at?
Hey, I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
Period.
Period. Bitch. Don't play with me, ho.
Bitch, I'm gonna defend it.
Foreign and domestic, bitch. Where them fans at?
Now, one thing about the I understand this. What you say?
Lost in translation. I want you to fall out.
What you say?
So my brother, hey, whoa, I wish I didn't get a copyright. I'll play it on the show. My brother just sent me a video. And you remember on Sinners when he walked into the thing and he peeked through the hole to see his brother?
Yes.
And you remember they was outside around the bonfire dancing?
I don't know who sent it to you. I don't know who sent it.
What them fans at? I said, what the
fans at?
Oh my God. Well, yeah, hey, I swear to God, bro. And my brother sent me that shit, bro. That shit is hilarious, bro. Oh
Man,
my God.
Look, I didn't know, and this is, you know what was really weird, BMU? I went down to Louisiana, right? And you know, they was playing that song left and right. This is doing the festival, right? And I started seeing these dudes with fans.
Hey, yeah, I'll punch them in the mouth. Put that fucking fan.
Kick all these goddamn fans. These niggas have fans with lights on them.
Yeah, put that shit down. In there talking about something.
Down there,
No, hell no.
They down south. Is that where they at? Deep in the south over
Yeah,
the fans?
it was in Louisiana, man, and over in Mississippi too. I was like, hell no. These cats had them damn fans. I said, boy, if y'all don't put them goddamn fans up.
Bunch of, like my granddaddy would say, bunch of thunderbelly bastards. Yeah, all that goddamn. Where them fans at? Yes. I said, what the fuck? Hey, boy, let me tell you who got disrespectful. I think what we was.
Oh my God.
My motorcycle club, we rode to some event they was having for children. And when we got there, they started playing it, boots on the ground. And the girl came over, black girls, a couple of them came over and say, hey, here y'all fans. I said, who? Well, who you giving the fan to? Do it look like I want a fan? Man, pissed me up, boy, ran me hot. Is it like I want a fucking fan?
You just smack that fan out again.
She asked all the
fan
dudes,
at my
bro.
goddamn.
She had the box going down the line, getting all them no's.
Oh
He's like,
my
man,
God.
are you crazy? I don't know, damn fan.
No goddamn fan.
Are you crazy? Man, what? This ran me hot, quick.
Man, that shit had me pissed
man, do I
off,
want a fan? Look what the fuck I look like out there, my big ass.
Wait, no, not just doing that, but you twerking your body while you doing it.
Kicking your bottom leg out.
Kicking your bottom leg.
That should be sweet.
He's trying to get cooled down. That's all that is.
Where them fans at? Whoa. I got my boots on the ground, bitch. Period. Hey, you know them niggas doing? Hey, them old gay ass niggas. Where them hams at? Oh, I want your cheeks on the ground. Period.
You crazy.
Oh, God.
Why y'all crazy? Why? Oh, my God.
Yeah, my girl was out here talking about something. You ain't gonna do that dance? Hell no.
Hell no.
Doing that stupid ass dance.
Oh.
And if you don't get that fucking fan out my face.
Oh! Go ass on. Shit. Boy, piss ran me hot, nigga. What's really happening? Oh my God.
They just, but that's the thing, and I be telling women, y'all be ushering this goddamn gay ass shit for these men. Look, we have to call it the way we have to call it, man.
Yeah.
I ain't with that shit no more.
Exactly.
Remember when dudes that used to be a saying. But the mother used to be like, hey man, I ain't with that gay shit no more, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't with that shit.
You know what's crazy? When it was a time when I was playing sports as a young man, today they so I guess homophobic or just in what the word I'm looking for. They ingrained, but they ingrained in it though. Back in the day, we used to just tap each other on the butt like good job. You know what I'm saying?
You can't even do that no more.
Now we wasn't even thinking about associated with that type of mindset. We was like all the guys I knew like girls.
Yep.
Every guy I knew like girls. When we was teenagers, we used to have dances on Fridays and Saturdays, no lie.
Yeah.
From the time I was in the 9th grade to the time I graduated, and there was no adults. It was all we would organize it in the gym, charge a little money. You come with your little girl, you could dance on all the Roger and Zap and keep sweating music all night long with your girl. Then you had your little breaking songs that the Run DMCs, and everybody had you out there hip hopping and shit. Man, that was like young adult shit. It was a little club called the Stinges. Used to wear little stinge, those little dive hats coming through.
Oh, with the stingy brims. Yeah. But that was the thing about what was taught to us young. Even with our parents, it was taught to them how to socialize, how men and women or little boys and little girls supposed to socialize. That's why they had sock hops and shit like that. They had dances because that was to get them indoctrinated with this whole thing of liking each other, dating each other, and being able to court someone. But it was about courting with someone that you can learn to know, and you know them through their family, and they know you through your family. And once all of that shit started to die all the way out, man, by the time we got to the 90s, it was already pretty much a dying breed. It was a dying practice. So now what we have is a bunch of women and men that don't trust each other. I wouldn't say that they don't like each other. They just don't trust each other. And we haven't had anything to kind of indoctrinate them to actually know how to even frolic with one another, right? Only thing they doing is fucking.
They really ain't did nothing to be trusted with, man. Look how they acting, man.
Yeah, it's bad. It's terrible, bro. Yeah, it's fucked up, bro. And it's funny because I can understand why the younger folks won't be able to see that how messed up it is, because they haven't lived the way that we lived. And so imagine the ones that are 15, 16 years old. We just got this year some new 18-year-olds. How is she gonna turn out for them?
The same. The boys still wearing panties, the girls still wearing boxers. Like shit done got fucked up, bro.
But they still fucking each other. That's the crazy part about it.
Man.
And so then other children, that's gonna be adults are born. It's like how this shit is gonna be, man, this shit is terrible, bro.
Hey, listen, y'all. So I'm doing something different tonight. All right. We're gonna wrap this show up in about 2 minutes. But I'm gonna have an open panel show right after this for anybody. Well, we're gonna talk about everything: sports, religion, wives, dogs, cats, UFOs, pyramids, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. We're just gonna chop it up.
Okay.
And so I sent y'all the link already. Coach Ferguson, Lost in Translation.
Cool.
So when we end it out, and everybody that's watching right now, y'all can come on over. Go back out and y'all will see the. I should put the link in the chat.
It's a way that you can also, if you. Well, you're not live yet. So normally when you go live, you can, what do they call it now? It's something where you can do and you can transfer over. It's kind of like pass it, but you're not live right now. So yeah, just put the link in there and then everybody can go back over that way. Yeah.
Redirect us, BMU.
Redirect. There you go. Yeah, redirect. Absolutely. Oh yeah, I'm ready. Man. It's Friday night.
Boots on the ground.
My grandbaby
That's what they're gonna be saying. Got my boots on the ground.
Hey, my grandbaby going into the first grade now, man. I was like, hey, he graduating, and it's funny because we making this a big old. My daughter, she just be doing shit so big, man. She done got the whole family catching planes down to Tennessee for his kindergarten.
Oh my god! Oh my god! The kindergarten.
Man, the link in the chat, guys. So y'all follow us on over to the next live, the Chop It Up session, and we're gonna go ahead and end this one. I'll see y'all over in just a second.
Most definitely.
Here we go.